everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make a really cute circle skirt. And it's a reversible circle skirt that will be great for any little girl in your life or young person if you're making them to sell. This is one of the steps in what your circle skirt is going to look like. And once again, this one I made reversible. But let me show you where you need to start. You can use any basic circle skirt pattern, and I'll list for you below which one I use. And you want to, now with this particular pattern that I use, this is supposedly the front, and it says cut 1 on fold. What I did was I cut 2 on the fold. So I had my fabric, it's a really bright, vibrant fabric, and I folded it in half. So now we have it laid out, and you want to cut on the center fold. You need to pin it down, smooth it out, and you just want to pin it down all the way around so you can go ahead and cut out your circle skirt, or begin making your circle skirt. So I'm just going to pin this down. And if you haven't used patterns before, that's okay. With these circle skirts, you can actually just cut a large circle or use one of a child's skirt and just cut from there with the pattern. So just pinning this down. And I like to make sure you smooth it all out. And as you can see, I did not put it on the fold. Always start pinning on the fold. Okay, just to give you a better look, I've moved the camera a bit. You want to, once again, take your circle skirt pattern and lay it on the fold. And remember, it normally says cut 1 on the fold, but we're going to cut 2 because we want to do a reversible circle skirt and give it a lot of poof, make sure it has a lot of poofiness to it. So you want to pin starting on that portion that says center on the fold. And you're just going to pin this down and smooth it out as you go along. Just going to set it there for me so I don't have to reach around. And you can even make a skirt like this for yourself. You just got to cut a bigger circle, and you'll see when we put the elastic in, you can do this in basically an afternoon or less, depending on how fancy you want to make it, if you want to add ruffles and trim. But with this type of circle skirt, all you're going to need is elastic, and you're not going to do a zipper. So once I've got it pinned down, I want to start cutting and try to stay as close to the edge of the pattern as possible. Although, because you're going to add either a ruffle or a trim, it may not necessarily matter that much. And I'm cutting this out in real time, so you see it doesn't really take that long for you to get it cut out. So you want to be careful because this is a circle part. You want it to come out nice and round. And just take your time when you're doing this. If you've never made a sewing skirt or something before out of fabric, you'll find it's a lot of fun and you get a lot of satisfaction out of doing it. So let's see. Ta-da! It's that simple. See, you've got it all cut out. And because we're going to make this skirt actually reversible, you needed 2 sections. And you'll see when we unfold it, you'll have your 2 sections for your one color, and then you'll cut 2 more for your other color. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. Take the pins out real quick here. And this is not hard. This is really a good project for a first-time sewer. And like I said, I will put all the information on which pattern I use. So you can find that pattern in store, preferably on sale. We'll just take this off and set it aside. And there you go. This is one section of your circle skirt. Let me make sure you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. This is your one section. And let's see, we're gonna take it, gonna open it up. Now, if I wanna just make a circle skirt just this color, what I would do is go ahead and stitch these two seams together here, and then put my elastic in, and that would basically be it. But let me show you what it looks like when you do it double-sided. And you may have to rewind this portion of the tape. Not a double-sided, I meant to say reversible. Okay, this was one of those sections that we just cut. If you'll remember, that's the one section. And this is your other section of the skirt. Okay? That might not make much sense, so let me show it to you again. Say you've cut out your circles. Move that over a little bit. Your half circles, actually. And what you want to do now is stitch these two pieces together. You're going to stitch those two together, and you're going to stitch these two together. And I'll be right back. Let me do that, and I'll show you how I did it. Okay, so yes, you've stitched both halves of the circle together, and if you're going to keep this as a single non-reversible skirt, that's fine. But if you wanted your skirt to be reversible, you need to stitch, make another one of these, another circle in a different color. And what you're going to do is stitch those two edges together at the top opening. Let me open this up for you. Okay. Say we have our one color, right? And then we have our second color, because it'll be a reversible skirt. You're going to lay them together, right sides of the fabric together, and you're going to stitch all the way around on this inside. Once you do that, you're going to take your piece of elastic, and I've measured this out for a waistline of approximately 20 inches, but you know elastic will stretch. So now this might be a bit big for a toddler, but you need to measure the waistline of the child, or if you're making them to sell, you can just set up a series of custom of average sizes, and you should be fine. Now, in order to have it gather and not have to do pleats and deal with ruffling at this point, basically you want to measure from where you stitched down to a little bit more, about 1/4 of an inch. Let me see if I can show you this a little better. Because you're going to stitch a pocket for this elastic to go through. So you've got your stitch here, and you just kind of lay your elastic up next to it, and you just want to measure a little bit more. I'm going to say it's approximately, let's see, from that stitch going over about 1.5 inches. So if you stitch all the way around about 1.5 inches, you'll be able to slide this elastic through, and then you'll have your elastic waistband. So let me go do that, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, you have your two sides stitched together, and let me show you on the inside. You stitched your two half circle skirts together, and at this point definitely you want to iron all the way around to press it down, so you have a nice smooth hem edge up here. then depending on which size elastic, preferably the no roll elastic that you're using, you want to measure about, about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, depending on the length of your skirt, because you want to be able to stitch all along the outside and use a really nice, pretty, bright colored thread. And about 1.5 inches, you want to make a tube, a casing, an opening to slide your elastic through. On one of the seams, which is usually the best way to do it, let me see if I can find my seam. Okay. I cut a little opening, and once I have it stitched all the way around, this is where we're going to slide the elastic all the way through. So you've got your little opening, you're going to stitch all the way around, and then you're going to slide your elastic all the way through. So let me go stitch that for you, and I'll come back and show you. Okay, as you can see, I've stitched all the way around the skirt. So now we have a little pocket that we're going to run the piece of elastic, and you just put a clip of safety pin, attach your safety pin to the end of your elastic, and you're just going to run it all the way through the edging of your skirt. So, and then just give it a little tug, and you want to just make sure your elastic, it's really good to get the no roll elastic, flattens out as you go along. And we're just going to run this all the way through. And be careful you don't pull so hard, because remember, this isn't attached, so you don't want it to slip in there. You could do that, and it'll come out. It's not a big deal. And let me do that, and I'll be right back and show you the finished product. Okay, we're back. And as you can see, I ran the elastic all the way through the top part of the skirt. And of course I stitched the 2 pieces of elastic together, and now I can just hand stitch that little opening or put a flower over it. You won't even tell. And ta-da! You have a very cute circle skirt. And as you can see, once again, like I said, you stitched all the way around. Then you make sure you leave a little opening, preferably at one of your seams where they intersect, where they came together. And you ran your piece of elastic through on the inside. And now, because you made the waistband a little bit smaller, you get those pleats, you get those really cool ruffles, and it'll be all flouncy and flowing. And as you can see, it is double-sided, so you just, reversible, so you just flip it over. And it's like making 2 skirts in one, and this is very easy. In another video, we're going to work on the ruffle or a hem, but at this point, you're pretty much finished with your circle skirt, and you can decorate it with a ruffle or hem, anything that you like, to your heart's content. And I hope everybody's enjoyed today's video on how to make a circle skirt. Enjoy. Thanks for watching.